The man crumpled the paper into a ball and stuffs it into his mouth because he was so hungry trapped in the car. The man had come to steal something from the car, but the owner of the car locked him up. The owner called him and asked him if his son had been the thief. What would he have done? The man replied that he didn't know, and he was punished by the owner. The owner remotely turns on the air conditioning and turns the temperature down. The man is shivering from the cold. He puts on his clothes and uses a floor mat to block the air vents, but this doesn't help much. The man's lips turn blue from the cold. The owner finally turns off the air conditioning. He calls the man on the phone. The same question he had asked earlier. If the man's son had become a thief, what would he do then? The man didn't dare say he didn't know. This time his answer was to take his son to the police. The owner of the car was still not satisfied, but he didn't bother the man again. Finally a chance to plan his escape. Fortunately, a policeman arrived at the car at that moment. The man quickly banged on the car window and called for help, but the policeman just looked at the car for a few moments. He put a ticket on the car and left. This convinced the man that he couldn't see inside from the outside. He was desperate, but he didn't want to die like this. The man had a fever. The owner of the car who knew about this seemed very kind. After turning on the hot air in the car, the man passed out from the heat. In a daze, the man heard. The owner of the car was talking about his hatred for the thief. The owner and his family had been harassed by the thief numerous times. Thieves are like nasty flies that can't be shaken off, even though there are fly extinguishers all over the streets. But the flies still find their way in. The man really regretted it. If he had been given another chance, he would never have become a thief. It was on the afternoon of the third day. Another thief arrived at the car ready to break it in. The man was excited. He expected the thief to come quickly and successfully, but before the other man could open the door, he was found and dragged aside. The thief was beaten up. The man didn't know whether to pity the thief or himself. He couldn't hold out any longer. By the fourth day, the man's eyes were already dazed. He was on the verge of death.